Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new live stream. There's good news, my friends. I'm going to share with you that in just a little bit. But if you are tuning in now, please say hello in the live chat. I see Brad is already here. Brad, good to see you. Brad is saying, thank you for the truth, Tassif. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. It's always my goal to share the truth and accurate information, and that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm going to be doing today also. So for anyone who's tuning in, good morning. It is very early in the morning here in Wisconsin, early morning in the East Coast, and late at night in the West Coast. So hopefully friends from all over the country can tune in for this live stream. My friends, there's good news, and the good news is that National Guard troops have arrived in Illinois. I am so happy. National Guard troops from Texas have arrived in Illinois. And for those who are wondering why are the Texas National Guard troops in Illinois? Well, the troops are there to protect federal property, and this is necessary. This is necessary for anyone who has been following the news coming out of Illinois. For those who have any idea about how bad the situation is in Chicago with crime and violence and all that, this is necessary, this deployment. And thanks to President Donald J. Trump for his strong decision making, and thanks to a very awesome governor, and you know whose name I'm going to mention, right? Greg Abbott of Texas. Thanks to Greg Abbott for his cooperation. Greg Abbott continues to be a very, very strong ally of President Trump. Now, my friends, according to the news reports, 200 members of the Texas National Guard will be in Illinois. 200 members. Wow. AC Cruz is here. AC Cruz, good to see you. D is here. Hello, D. Aaron is here. Aaron says, MAGA forever. Thank you, Aaron. To everyone who's here, thank you. And to those who are joining for the first time, please make sure that you subscribe. So my friends, 200 members of the Texas National Guard will be in Illinois. Now, just a day ago, I had seen in the news that Texas National Guard troops were on their way to Illinois. And there was a lot of speculation. And people were wondering, okay, what's going on? What's going to happen? Will the troops be deployed? When is that going to be? What's the timeline like? A lot of speculation. And among the Chicago residents, there was great anticipation. Among the Chicago residents, there was a lot of joy thinking about the possibility that Texas National Guard troops will be deployed. The people of Chicago are happy today. My friends, do we have anyone from Chicago tuning in for this live stream? The people of Chicago, the Chicago residents, are happy today learning about this deployment. The people of Chicago have been waiting for this for a long time. And I know that Chicago residents are going to be very happy. All the law-abiding people in Chicago, They will be happy that finally we have a president and an administration who are taking action. So, my friends, I'm seeing this report that 200 troops have been mobilized, and the initial length of time for this deployment is 60 days. 60 days. That's a long time. 60 days. A lot can be achieved in 60 days, my friends. That's 2 months. Now, my friends, let me tell you something. I'm sharing with you the good news. I'm sharing with you my joy learning about this deployment. And I'm also telling you that people in Chicago are very happy because they want a safe city. But there's someone in Illinois who is deeply unhappy regarding this troop deployment. There's someone in Illinois who is having a really bad time because that individual does not want to see Texas National Guard troops being deployed. Do you know who I am talking about? There's one person in particular who is extremely unhappy. I'm going to pause for a little bit and give you the opportunity to respond. Who do you think that individual is? Who do you think that person is who is extremely unhappy? Bill is writing governor. That is right. That is right. Governor of Illinois. I'm talking about J.B. Pritzker. JB is not happy. JB is sad. This man, the governor of Illinois, he said something which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to share with you the language that JB Pritzker used. But you're not going to like it. So let me tell you, JB Pritzker called the Trump administration's decision an authoritarian march. Wow. That is so ridiculous. Authoritarian march? He called it a power grab. My friends, just pay attention to the kind of language that J.B. Pritzker is using. You know what Pritzker is trying to do? This left-wing Democrat who likely has presidential ambition. You know, the way he appears in front of the media, it seems like he is dreaming of becoming the president, J.B. Pritzker. Do you think he's going to be president ever? Do you think he has the qualifications to be the president? Do you think he has what it takes to be the president? Do you think he has the energy? Do you think he has the skills? Do you think he has the intelligence required to be the president of the United States? Do you think JB will ever get enough support to become the US president? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, some of you are wondering, like, how did Joe Biden become president, right? Well, my friends, let me tell you, I still have many questions in my mind about the 2020 election. There are so many questions still. People still have a lot of questions, unanswered questions about the 2020 election. If you ask me about the 2020 election, if you ask me about my thoughts, I'm going to keep it very brief, and I'm going to simply tell you one thing and one thing only. Trump's the winner. Donald Trump's the winner. Donald Trump's the winner. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you ask me specifically about 2020 presidential election, I'm going to tell you Donald Trump's the winner. All right? Now, if you don't like my answer, there's nothing I can do about it. If you don't like my answer, you want to argue with me, you want to scream and shout, well, that's your decision. There's nothing I can do. I'm just simply sharing the facts, and I'm simply sharing with you the words that come from deep within my heart. When you ask me about the 2020 election, I'm going to say Trump's the winner. My friends, the kind of language that J.B. Pritzker is using by saying, oh, it's an authoritarian march, oh, it's a power grab, this is the kind of language that politicians use, Democrat politicians, to divide people. The American people are united. Understand this very well. The American people are united, but Democrat politicians, you know what they do? They try to create division. They try to divide people. They use all kinds of tactics, all kinds of language, all kinds of strategy to divide people. But you know what? Division is going to make us weak. When we're united, we're strong. And we are united. And that's why the Democrats are so frustrated. The American people are united, which is why J.B. Pritzker is so frustrated, which is why Gavin Newsom is so frustrated, which is why, other politicians, Hakeem Jeffries, so frustrated. My friends, let me share with you my views. The American people will remain united, no matter what kind of language J.B. Pritzker uses. What J.B. Pritzker is trying to do is to spread hatred and anger. He's calling Donald Trump's decision an authoritarian march. He's calling it a power grab. Power grab? Are you serious, J.B. Pritzker? Power grab? Donald Trump is the duly elected president. The American people put Donald Trump in a position of power. The American people, through electoral college vote, through popular vote, elected Donald Trump and gave him the power and the authority that he now has. And why did we give Donald Trump the power and the authority of a U.S. president? Why? Because we trust him, because we know that he is going to do the right thing. We have confidence in his ability to take the right action at the right time. And when Donald Trump decides that it's time to deploy National Guard troops in Chicago, we agree with that decision. We say, thank you, President Trump. This is why we elected you, to make bold decisions, to make American cities safe again. My friends, J.B. Pritzker's efforts to spread anger and hatred will fail. J.B. Pritzker is not going to succeed in his efforts to create division in society. No, no, no. We are united. We will stay united. My friends, the Democrat politicians should stop doing this. Do not spread hatred. Do not spread anger. Do not try to divide people. Stop this. Stop the fear-mongering. Stop the hatred. If there's anything that the Democrats should be doing, that is, the Democrats should be thanking President Trump. Because President Trump is helping a lot of Democrat-run cities that are in trouble, but President Trump is helping make these cities great again. President Trump did great job in Washington D.C. Washington D.C. is extremely safe now. President Trump is helping out other cities, Democrat-run cities. And so the Democrats should be thanking him. My friends, this is what we want. We have resources, American resources, and we should use the resources to make our cities safe again. J.B. Pritzker is not happy because Texas is cooperating with the Trump administration. Do you know who should have cooperated with the Trump administration? The Illinois state government. But the Illinois state government is run by left-wing politicians, and that is why they don't cooperate with the Trump administration. But now it is Texas stepping forward to provide resources necessary to make Chicago safe again. My friends, thank you so very much for being here, for tuning in, for listening to this live stream, for watching this video. I have more to talk about. I'm not ending right here. We're 17 minutes into the live stream, but there's more that I wish to discuss. So I hope that you'll stay here with me, my friends. And if you support Donald J. Trump, just write that in the live chat window. Write Trump 2025. Trump 2025. Or you can just write MAGA and send a strong message to everyone who's watching this that you support Trump. Do it, my friends. Do it. Brady is writing Donald Trump 2025 all day. Is it Freitas or what's sorry, I can't pronounce the first name. It's saying MAGA, so thank you for that. Brad is saying Trump 2025. Others are saying MAGA. Thank you so much. My friends, there's something else I'm going to share with you now. A very interesting update. And I want to hear your thoughts on this after I tell you what it is. I'm hearing that J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, wants to withdraw the state from the National Governors Association. Have you heard that? Have you heard that? And do you know why? Why is it that J.B. Pritzker wants to withdraw Illinois from the National Governors Association? Because the National Governors Association is not publishing a statement against the Trump administration's decision to deploy National Guard troops in Illinois. That's right. J.B. Pritzker, I mean, think about this man's intelligence, level of intelligence. He wants the National Governors Association to publish a statement, to provide some kind of a statement against the Trump administration's decision to deploy National Guard troops in Illinois. The National Governors Association is not going to do that because the governors of the National Governors Association, at least most of them, they understand that the president, Donald J. Trump, is trying to make America great again. He's trying to protect the people. He's trying to make the American cities safe again. He's trying to fight crime. He's trying to arrest and deport the criminal aliens. He's trying to make the neighborhoods safe. He's trying to make the cities safe so that businesses can thrive, so that Americans can work and live peacefully and raise their families in a safe and sound environment. That is what President Trump is trying to do. But J.B. Pritzker wants the National Governors Association to speak against the Trump administration. That is not going to happen. My friends, it is not just JB. It is not just JB. JB Pritzker, governor of Illinois, he's speaking against the National Governors Association, but it's not just JB. There's also another governor of another state, far, far away from the state of Illinois, that is also doing the same thing. Do you know which governor I'm talking about? It's the governor on the West Coast. I'm talking about Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Beautiful state, California, with a very bad governor, Gavin Newsom. Now, Gavin Newsom is also doing the same thing. He may withdraw California from the National Governors Association, and one might just say, hey, go ahead and withdraw if you want to. Go ahead and do it. J.B. Pritzker and Gavin Newsom, if you think that you're going to pull your states out of the National Governors Association, go right ahead and do it. It's not going to make a difference. The American people don't care. But you know what? It's going to be a loss for Illinois. It's going to be a loss for California. Both the states are better off staying with the National Governors Association. But if the governors of these two states, Governor Pritzker and Governor Newsom, if they decide, hey, we're out, we're going to take our states out of the National Governors Association, then you know what? Just do it. Just do it. We don't care. The American people, we don't care. If you come to Wisconsin and you ask anybody and you just say, hey, you know, J.B. Pritzker is pulling Illinois out of the National Governors Association, what do you think about that? The answer is going to be, we don't care. We don't care. Why should we? We're focused on the things that matter. We're focused on the big things that are happening in this country, with trade, with manufacturing, with public safety, with strengthening the military. So many great things happening in this country. Protecting women's sports. There are so many great things happening in the United States right now. We don't care what J.B. Pritzker wants to do. My friends, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and stay connected. All right. I see lots of different comments coming from people. Not friendly comments, each and every one of those comments, no. There are some friendly comments and others, no. Jamie is here. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you. Daryl saying, you're not American. I am American. I am a U.S. citizen, Daryl. Jamie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting this channel. Roger is saying Trump is saving our country. Roger, you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct, Roger. Trump is saving our country, especially after what Biden did to the United States. What Biden did. What did Biden do to the energy industry? What did Biden do to our standing internationally? What did Biden do to military? Weakened the military. The military is once again strong and is going to get even more strong. So Trump is having to fix a lot of problems that Joe Biden created. My friends, if Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker want to withdraw from the National Governors Association, they can do that. It's not going to change anything in terms of troops deployment. You know, these Democrats, you know, they say, oh, it's an infringement. It's infringement of state sovereignty. Okay, keep in mind that the American people in all 50 states cast their ballots for Trump. Trump won the popular vote and the electoral college vote, and Illinois and California have suffered with Democrats in power. These Democrats talk about state sovereignty, but they have shown through their actions that they do not care about people's freedom. The Democrats will say that their cities and states are being militarized, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, my friends, understand one thing, that there is going to be greater freedom in Chicago once crime is reduced or completely eliminated. When crime is completely rooted out, Chicago will be safe again, and the people of Chicago will be able to enjoy greater freedom. There'll be greater freedom in California when crime is eliminated. My friends, people are afraid to go out and walk on the streets of Chicago. People are afraid to go out at night. Let's say you live in Chicago and it's 11 p.m. You want to go out for a walk in the city. You know what? Most people might think, you know, it's not a good idea. It's late at night. There are criminals running wild, thieves and robbers, lots of criminals, violent criminals. It's not safe to go out and walk at night in Chicago. But once the federal agents come in and they clean up the city of Chicago, when Chicago, the Windy City, is safe again, then people will be able to enjoy greater freedom to go out and walk without the fear of being robbed. There's going to be greater freedom because of enhanced public safety. And thanks to President Trump, he's making it happen. Daryl is saying, why don't you worry about Wisconsin? Daryl, do you have any idea that I talk about Wisconsin issues also? I'm talking about Chicago today, but Daryl, you should go back and look at my other videos. You know, why don't you do one thing? Go to my website, which is tausifanam.net, and go to the published opinions section, and you will see how many articles, how many letters to editors I have written about issues pertaining to Wisconsin. Absolutely, I care about Wisconsin. Absolutely, I talk about Wisconsin. Absolutely, I write about Wisconsin issues because this is my home state. My friends, I write about Wisconsin. I talk about Wisconsin. I discuss Wisconsin issues. Daryl, you have no idea, which is why you're making the comment that you made. I would advise that you go and look at my writings, you go and look at my podcast episodes, the previous ones, and you go and watch my previous live streams. I've been live streaming since January of last year. Not January of 2025, but January of 2024. All right, my friends. In Chicago, once the city is safe again, people will feel safe about driving and going out and just enjoying a nice time with your friends and family. It's going to be great. We just have to wait. Actions are being taken. Chicago is going to be, once again, an amazing city. All right. I'm going to write, I support President Trump. If you support President Trump also, please make sure that you're writing that in the live chat. Derek, good to see you. Derek's here. Selena is here. Hi, Selena. Evelyn is here. Hi, Evelyn. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, Evelyn. Evelyn from Nevada, an amazing state. Hi, Evelyn. Good morning. Good to see our friend Evelyn tuning in. So somebody is asking, what does your script say about Nevada? Well, there's not. Listen, lots of trolls, lots of haters here in the live chat. I understand that. But let me tell you, if you want to ask me about Nevada, I'm going to tell you one thing, that very soon, hopefully the next time there's a Senate race in Nevada, the Republicans, I hope the Republicans win that. Okay? I hope the Republicans win that. Okay, I'm going to ask you, Nevada came up and somebody wants me to talk about Nevada. To all the people, do you know which presidential candidate won Nevada in November 2024? Did Kamala Harris win Nevada or did Donald Trump win Nevada? Why don't you answer that? Did Kamala Harris win Nevada or did Donald Trump win Nevada? Evelyn is saying Trump won Nevada. What about the others? Do you think Evelyn is correct that Trump won Nevada? Why don't you answer that? Evelyn answered it. What about you guys, others? Derek is saying Trump. So Evelyn is saying Trump. Derek is saying Trump. Anyone else? Which presidential candidate won Nevada? You want me to talk about Nevada? That's what I'm doing. Who won Nevada? Nevada is an amazing state, and Nevada is going to be very soon in the not so distant future, Nevada is going to be a red state. Okay? Watch as it happens. Nevada is going to be a red state. We're going to win the Senate, and we're going to win more offices in Nevada, the Republicans. Derek is correct. Derek is saying you can win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. Absolutely. 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 Listen, there are some left-wing folks out there who say, left-wing folks out there who say, oh, you won by only these many votes. Oh, you only won by a few thousand votes. Winning is winning. Winning is winning. You win or you lose. It's binary. You win or you lose. If you win, you win. Doesn't matter if you win by 1,000 votes or 1,000,000 votes. Daryl is saying cheating is cheating. Really? Are you talking about 2020, Daryl? When you say cheating is cheating, are you talking about 2020? Let me just ask you that. Are you talking about 2020? I'm trying to read the comments here in the live chat. Okay, so my friends, I talked about Gavin Newsom, I talked about J.B. Pritzker, but let me tell you that there's another person I need to talk about from Illinois. Okay? Brandon Johnson. Do you want me to talk about Brandon Johnson? Invisible Man is here. Hello, Invisible Man. So Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, also had some very negative reactions to the news about National Guard deployment in Chicago. Brandon Johnson said, and I quote, "This is an ultimate provocation and it's an overreach of our Constitution," end quote. Okay, so Brandon Johnson is trying to say that this is an ultimate provocation, and he's trying to say that this is an overreach of the Constitution, this decision to deploy National Guard troops in Illinois. Now, my friends, let me ask you this question. Do you think that Brandon Johnson knows much about the Constitution? Does he know anything about the Constitution? Do you think he understands the Constitution? Do you think Brandon Johnson is knowledgeable about the U.S. Constitution? Why don't you answer that in the live chat window? Evelyn is saying absolutely not. Brandon Johnson. Um, I really think he's the worst mayor in the United States. There are some really bad mayors, but he's the worst. And then Brandon Johnson also goes on to say, and I quote, the governor of Texas should be worried about Texas, end quote. Really? Why? The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is taking good care of Texas. He listens to the will of the people in Texas. In fact, Greg Abbott has got a lot of work to do now because people from blue states like Illinois and California are moving to Texas. Yeah, a lot of people leaving the blue states like Illinois and California, and they're moving to Texas. Why? Because Texas is a much better state, one of the best in the nation, and so that's going to keep Governor Greg Abbott very busy because Texas is just an amazingly popular state where people want to live. So yeah, he's got a lot to work on, and he's very busy, Governor Greg Abbott. But Governor Greg Abbott also understands the importance of cooperating with the People's Administration, meaning the Trump administration. So Brandon Johnson is right to understand that the Texas governor has a lot to stay busy with. But Governor Greg Abbott really has nothing to worry about because Texas is doing great. Texas is in good hands, and it's not just Greg Abbott who is a great leader in Texas. There are other really wonderful people in the state of Texas, in the Texas state government, who are taking great care of the Texans and the state. So Pritzker is unhappy, Brandon Johnson is unhappy, and California Governor Gavin Newsom is also very unhappy. But you know what? The American people are happy. The American people are seeing right in front of our eyes. We are seeing how the Trump administration is making America great again. All right. Okay, my friends. That's pretty much all I have to say right now. I don't have more to add at this time. I want to keep this live stream short because obviously it's very, very early in the morning. So I'm going to conclude this. But I appreciate the thousands of viewers who tuned in. And even at this hour, I'd say that, let me just check. We had more than 3,000 viewers tune in More than 3,000 viewers tune in for this live stream. So thank you so very much. I appreciate that. You're not going to be able to see the 3,000 figure in the screen because it only shows the number of people who are here at any given point in time. But I can see the number on my end, and also once this live stream is over and the numbers update, once you come back to replay that, you'll be able to see that more than 3,000 viewers tuned in. So I appreciate you all. Um, to the wonderful people who are here to support me and to encourage me, and to really people who care about freedom, care deeply about freedom. Thank you so very much. And to the others who are here because they want to spread some kind of socialist propaganda, people who are here because they don't like uh, uh, rule of law and law and order, people who are here who don't like the enforcement of our nation's immigration laws. I'm just going to pray for you so that God gives you wisdom. Okay, God the Almighty, uh, he can give you all wisdom. Those who are here because they love socialism, those who are here name calling, engaging in name calling and insulting me because I believe in freedom and not socialism. To all the socialists out there, um, I'm really going to pray for you. I'm going to keep you in my prayers so that you can achieve some wisdom and really see the truth that socialism doesn't work and that socialism is the worst idea for governance. Okay, socialism destroys society. So socialism destroys economy. So please abandon your socialist viewpoints, embrace freedom, embrace capitalism, and together let's make America great again. My friends, thank you so very much for being here. Um, and I'm going to be back again very soon with more videos and more live streams. So thank you so very much, my friends. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again very soon. And together, as I said, we will make America great again. Thank you.